What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat. We're here today playing the next episode of Mount & Blade Warband. Now, if you're very careful, if you are incredibly astute, you will see that I am mousing over something right now. A very, very beautiful something. In fact, this is probably one of the most beautiful somethings that we could ever focus our mouse on. This is Qdan with 35 guys guarding it, which means we are pretty much gonna go straight haywire on this thing in like 2 seconds. So what we need to do now is we're gonna wait for the lords to leave. And then once the lords leave, I think Turagor Noyan is who we're waiting on. And the second Turagor Noyan goes away, we are going to capture this thing. We're going to cause all kinds of treachery. It's going to get ugly. We're going to be very, very treacherous, much like my cat. My cat is very treacherous, if you didn't know. She is incredibly treacherous. She'll be laying in the hallway, and she'll be totally demure. And you'll pet her once, and she'll just be like, wow! And she'll like go into crazy psycho kitty death mode. And she'll totally like rip skin off your arm, and it's just like, oh my, that was incredibly unpleasant. So now then, let's handle... We may have to do this a little bit more efficiently. Let's go ahead and beat up some farmers so that we're at war with them, and it's quicker than going back home and handling this. Are they running from me? Oh, they're running from Belgaru. Okay, I was gonna say, it's the weirdest thing when I can't catch peasants. Like, it's just like...
harvesting season.
It's almost harvesting season! Okay, and so we've attempted to attack them, and it made everybody grumpy with me because apparently they're allowed to beat up and kill peasants, but we are not. And then what I'd like to do now is he's probably going to hole up in the city. Let me take a look at my forces that I have at the moment. I recall that I was on kind of a little bit of a recruiting spree before we started this episode off, so this may not work out to my best advantage. Instead, we may have to go grab a few troops before we finish this thing off and then garrison off all of these noob troops that are laying around. But I do feel like a war is very, very advantageous for us right now. If we go to war with the Kyrgyz, Qdan is very much going to be ours incredibly shortly. So let's go back to our castle. And here comes Turagor Noyan. Yeah, you're not going to have that happen, pal. That is going to end very, very badly. We have real armies now, like real armies that are capable of real things, like mass destruction. And this is going to be incredible. Let's manage our, nope, not manage our castle. Let's manage that garrison. That sounds like a really, really terrible medieval game show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Manage That Garrison, the game in which we manage a garrison for the best chance of winning a new car. Yeah, I don't know, that's the feeling that I get by it anyways. Maybe I'm just crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people. Nope, we're not doing that today. We are not going on an Aussie spree today. We will not do it. We will not succumb, we shall persevere, and we shall continue to move forward with a diatribe that is both on target and not related to heavy metal. We can accomplish this together, you and I, all together. Let's go with archers, we'll go with sharpshooters, sure, why not? And we got 17 more guys, so why not like some Mamelukis? And maybe a couple of sergeants, maybe... Who else wants to come along? I mean, really, seriously, anybody can come that wants to come, I mean... You guys right here? Sure, get rid of a couple Mamluks. Why not? Actually, no, we're going to keep the Mamluks. The Mamluks shall stay. So saith the Splattercat. In case you didn't know, I'm a little bit wired today. I've been just surviving on caffeine all day long. Because unfortunately, I woke up very, very, very early this morning. It was I had the weirdest dream last night. That's why I woke up. I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it. I had a dream about Ronald, like dozens of Ronald McDonald's with... like steak knives, and right as one of them stabbed me, I woke up, and I don't even know where to begin with the Freudian aspects of that. I have no idea. It was just dozens of them, and I'm not even being facetious right now. I'm not even making this up for entertainment value. That is 100% swear on a stack of Bibles, or swear on a stack of, I don't know, swear on a stack of Einstein's writings or something. I don't know what to swear on anymore. I don't know what to believe. But anyways, what I will say, hey, you go away. I don't want to talk to you right now. You are not wanted in the kingdom at this time. I'm gonna need you to walk away, because the boss is busy right now. Please do not invade Qdan, Kingdom of Nords, because I'm trying to take over it. Thank you. Oh my god, there are so many people up in this building. I still think we can take it. Let's go ahead and besiege the town, and we will prepare our ladders to attack the walls. And hopefully nobody comes along to rescue this thing. So what you guys had told me down in the comments, now that I'm done being goofy for a little bit, okay, I might be a little goofy in just a second. But anyways, now that I'm done being completely and totally goofy, oh my god. Archers hang out right here. Everybody else Yeah, whatever, just head up the walls. I know you guys are going to do it anyways, no matter what I tell you to do. And this time we brought all of our sharpshooters. And so we should be in a better tactical position. They seem to be a lot better for siege assaults. Now, these guys don't have a ton of soldiers. I mean, they only have like 64 guys, and they all look pretty... Why do they have like a dumpster? Oh, I thought that was a dumpster for a second. I was like, that is an enormous dumpster. I don't know if they just produce more trash than your average medieval fief, but damn, that is a dumpster. I actually think our sharpshooters are doing a pretty good job of supplying us with cover, but I don't see a whole lot of people dying, although we are sending traditional siege units up the ladder now. Oh man. No! Stop having a weak arm. Get stronger. Get stronger. Focus on your hate. It makes you stronger. Gives you focus. Ow! So I've now been shot, which has totally and completely removed my motivation for continuing this combat. I don't like being shot. As you guys may have, I mean, we're on episode like 85 by now, and if you guys don't know that I don't like being shot at this point, I'm not really sure where we stand with regards to common ground. I am just not so sold. Okay, so we're officially losing some Mamelukis. I'm probably about to catch a bolt in the back. There we go. Let me get rid of him. Is there anybody on that wall? No. Nay, there is not, good sir. And so now what we need to do is just allow our archers to do their thing. Frankly, I'm kind of wondering what would have happened if I had just positioned my men up against the walls and just sat here for a minute. They should reposition to fight with us. He's kind of trying to do like this little juke motion where he's like dancing back and forth, just like, yeah, da, 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 seeing if he can keep himself out of the way, but I don't think that dance is going to... Oh, he's got a... What? You shot my... That was my favorite sharpshooter. Of all the sharpshooters, of all these uniformed, bearded men, that was my favorite one, and that's the one you had to shoot? Really? Was that necessary? I just don't see why you had to shoot that one. I mean, it's messed up. God, I'm assuming there's a guy over on that parapet because like 1,000 guys just shot over there. I can only assume that that is the case. Let's take a look at our chances of winning right now. And we have 45 men ready. They have 53 dead. That puts them pretty close. I'm sorry, I keep pressing the wrong keys. Let's go ahead and signal a charge. And while I do stand the chance of losing a lot of men here, the nice thing about that, the silver lining, if you will, the platinum lining, if you are so metallically inclined, is that my Rodok sharpshooters are actually pretty damn decent in melee combat. They are not terrible. So we should be able, I think if they only have 4 men left remaining, this shouldn't be too much of a siege. It should be over very, very quickly. So now what we have to hope is that we don't take a counter siege right off the bat. I'm going to try and position as many men here as I can. And the point right now is that I don't care if I lose Sungechi as long as I hold Kyudan. So there it is. We lost 7 men. Not so terrible by comparison to what may have happened. And because there were so many men inside the building, he says, I yield, grant me the honors of war. You have fought well, you are free to go. I shall be a woman of honor, a woe man, if you are familiar with So I Married an Axe Murderer. Let's go down the list and find all the high-tier guys here. We've got a couple of veterans. There we go. I'm happy. I'm pretty happy. I mean, I would love to take all of these guys and just add them to the garrison, possibly, maybe, please. But you don't have that as an option. I wish you could just take the existing guys and add them to the garrison because we could definitely use every single one of these guys. Well, the bandits not so much. The bandits kind of suck. But everybody else we could absolutely use as kind of a starting garrison for this locality. It will now ask us if we want to give this to somebody. And to that question, I shall say, nay. I am going to defer the appointment. I actually think I should probably take Kyudan for myself because we need a place to hold court that's an actual city. But at the moment, I am going to defer. I'm going to defer it like crazy, like I've got a shaver and just and defer it. And so, yes, you got the joke. I'm talking about shaving an animal. Why the animal should be shaved, I cannot tell you. But perhaps the animal needed to be shaved. Maybe that is the crux of my argument. And so it appears as though we have inherited Tizmir, Uslum, and Shulus, which... That place, really hard to get any walking done. You knew that joke was coming. The second the place was Shulus, you knew that that joke was 100% on the breeze. Now, hopefully Nords doesn't try anything too tacky about all this, but we actually have a kingdom. Look at this. This is a real kingdom. How awesome does that feel right now? It feels a bit breezy to me. That's when I get a good feeling about running my own kingdom. The way that I would describe it, it's as though a cool breeze has come down the road while I'm running on a hot summer day. That is the feeling. And so Kyudan is now ours. We don't know really what the rents are going to do for us here. It looks like it gave us some freebies. Now, the temptation in assigning these is that sometimes what I could do is I could give this to one of my vassals. Let's say we give it to Matheld, and this will just generate free troops that I don't have to pay for, and then I could give myself Tizmir, Uzlum, and Shulus. That will probably make people grumpy with me, but at the same time, it's not a terrible plan because it means I don't have to manage a garrison, which is kind of one of the major problems in this game, is managing your own garrison is both costly and expensive. You can pass it off on a vassal. It tends to go a little bit better. So part of me is a little bit stricken with the idea that I should probably give that to Mathel, but then the other half is like, be greedy, take all the stuff. And so I'll probably take Qdan as a secondary locality. And then from there, no, I'll probably give it to somebody because I don't want to spend too many episodes recruiting troops. Once we take something even better like Kura, or, oh, I don't know, guys. I just don't. It only feels appropriate that the capital should be held by the king or the empress. So maybe I'll do, oh, it looks like somebody is on his way over here, and we are going to waylay him because he could single-handedly knock over our place if he want. Ooh, I just saw the king. Okay, so the king is on his way out. And that leads me to think that I should conceivably go with, let's go with everybody over. As many people as we can to hold the fort here. And is he still going to come at me? He is still going to come at me. So if we're going to fight for this, if we're going to make for the scrapping, I don't know if I should do it on open field or if I should do it in the castle. Now, doing it in the castle does take away his advantage. For sure, it does take away his field advantage. But at the same time, I don't have my best units here. So this leads me to think that the best prescriptive course of action is going to be to allow them to siege this and then to come back with even more men in just a moment. And if they take Sungechi, that's fine, whatever. That's not a tremendous downfall for us because it's something that I already have. If I could take a bunch of knights, I could probably fight him in open field if I had enough knights. I think would probably be possible. That does, however, remove a lot of my ranged advantage. But this is a pretty good force right here. Let's get rid of the trained footmen. How many veterans do I have? Just the 3, so I may not have a choice. Let's just go for a big ol' stack of knights. And if we decide that that's going to work out for us, I mean, we do have a lot of knights. So we have 73 knights now in our group. I don't think it would be so terrible of a plan to bring a couple crossbowmen along instead of all these guys. I do think the knights are probably all that we're going to need for this big battle in the middle of a field. And why not? Let's bring some of the Mamelukis. So what I want now... Well, none of my big armies have decided to commit. However, this is going to be kind of a tricky fight. This is going to be a long-winded and difficult fight, so... Oh good, people have... Oh, Boyar Noyan is here as well. So that leaves us with 500 men to deal with. And this will be quite the battle in our favor if we manage to pull it off. I don't know where Gerlad is at, but I would love for him to show up. An extra 100 men would really kind of swap this from a difficult fight into one that I think is possible. But let's go for it, and we'll just keep an eye on how it goes. And so our battle advantage is -9. That's what I was worried about, is that he's going to be able, if you take a look at the field right here, the game has sort of cheated in that it has given this AI unit more stats than he can conceivably have as a real character. And this has allowed him to field a lot of units, which puts me at a disadvantage because look at this, I only have like 10 guys, but he's got probably 100. Now we are going to have to hope that this just works out the way that we want it to. And so I'm going to try and be very, very careful about couch lances here, but we are so ridiculously outnumbered that it may not be possible. And so let's... We're going to fight this. I realize this was a mistake. Let's go ahead and fight this in the castle. And if he wants to take this to the walls, then we shall take this to the walls. I think I need to remove the horse advantage. Now that I know what his tactical advantage is going to be, it's quite a bit worse than I expected. I'm also going to save the game because I almost never save. And I'm weird. The last couple times, not that I'm weird, it's that the game sometimes likes to crash on me. So I think this is probably conceivable. Yeah, that's not quite as bad of a disadvantage. Especially, how are they scoring kills already? So the only thing I'm interested in here is just killing dudes. Like, if you could fire into the mass, you're good. The AI is not going to use any complicated tactics to guarantee that it gets inside the walls. However, we are losing a lot of men. So I don't know if it just spawned us in with a ton of knights first. But the nice thing is that when you're on the walls, all of your friends, as your friends die, like if there is a nice side to the fact that all of your friends are dead and nothing is going well for you in life, the plus side to that is that our friends will be dropping arrows, so I am basically guaranteed this job of sitting and shooting guys for the remainder of the fight. This is probably going to be drawn out into multiple battles, and as you can see, I've picked kind of a neutral point, and I'm just firing there, and you can almost see that every single time I'm getting a headshot. It's also a great way to level up your archery, by the way, but you always want to aim at that spot right there so that nobody can block, and so that while they're staggering around... Where's a dead guy? Dead guy, hand me your stuff. Well, I guess not. Well, the beginning looked a little bit worse, but I think that's because they were coming up on the walls and they were doing like this little skirmishing activity. I want your stuff. Give it to me. And why are none of you guys firing, by the way? By the by. This battle's looking awfully green. I think we could hold it. Definitely have that scrolling text that is new enemies have arrived, though, so we're probably going to take another wave of casualties right here as they open up with their first little skirmishing bolts. And in fact, I sort of hope that somebody dies so that I can grab their stuff. My archers appear to be very, very confused. And I want to be careful as I come around here. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be dropping loot today. Why are you guys falling back? Fall forward. Murder everything. Think destruction. Think death. Think obliteration. Because that is what we need right now. I cannot conceive of the fact that my archers might be out of arrows already. That seems like a bit much. So I think they may just be bugged and not contributing to the fight at all. The nice thing about the Kyrgyz is they are incredibly soft. They feel as though they have just been rolling in aloe vera. They are not built for siege combat, so this should go to our favor. I think reinforcing with the 70-something knights has really bought us the ticket in between. If there was a golden ticket, like if new enemies have arrived, yeah, it's pretty much a slaughter. Look at that body pile right there, that U. That U for... I don't know. What would the U stand for in this case? Ultimately fruitless? I mean, I think we need an extra F for that, but... doing pretty well. Given the initial kind of conglomerate of colors that we were seeing, I was feeling nervous about this, but should be okay. Our house is on fire. That sucks for who lives in that house. Hopefully it's not a straw man or something, or like Olaf, the snowman. If he lives in there, that could become majorly an issue. Even with his own Nimbus, I don't think it's going to work for him. And if we hold this, I don't think we'll have to worry. This is the giant bulbous fist of their military might. And so if we manage to repel this, they're going to have nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing to come at us with. It's going to be pretty embarrassing, in fact. At which point we'll kind of take stock and decide if we want to go after Ikamer or not. This went way more smoothly than I expected, so we may not be able to record. I like to do things in bursts. That's like me personally. When I record these episodes, I like to do like 5 episodes in a row. And unfortunately, I just don't get the opportunity to anymore because I've got to set these episodes up so that something interesting is always happening. And unfortunately, there's a lot of recruiting going on when you're trying to come up with a kingdom that has a lot of defended castles. I don't like to leave things behind that have like 85 men in them because I feel as though that's a terrible, terrible strategy for holding a kingdom. And it also starts a domino effect so that if somebody gets a little bit of momentum going, it can wipe out your entire force, and it's bad. It's really, really bad. I don't think I would have to argue that getting your entire force wiped out is a bad thing. Not with you guys. We could pick up a scimitar, but I don't want one of those. Not unless it fires arrows. Can I get a... Let me see here. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be super badass. Oh, we got reinforcements, too. That's even better. They're looking pretty low tier, but it's still good. It's still good. I do think that their casualties... Let's have a look. We have done 200 of their men in. And they have done... what looks like 40 of our men in. So yeah, if all holds steady, we should be able to hold this no problem. We should start taking some brief casualties just because there's so many fur-clad men in here who don't know how to fight. So, you guys still good on arrows? You said it's still magical? I wish that I had arrows. I'll take that one. Actually, that might be a good way to accumulate some arrows. Let's see here. You guys have been shooting at walls. Actually, there they are over there. Let me see if I can pick some off the walls. Which I don't think is a sentence that anybody has ever said with the intention of eating thereafter. Let me see if I can pick some off the walls. Anything that you can pick off a wall I don't think should be edible. That might be a really, really bad way to conduct your business. I mean, just saying for the purpose of saying, but... I'm going to keep an eye on the casualty reports now. We're taking a few more. We're definitely taking a few more, and I think that might be related to the fact that our crossbowmen are no longer able to support us quite as well as they were before, but the enemy is still taking a lot of casualties. They've almost lost... That's half their troops dead already, so... And we're nowhere near half. We have 250 or so in here, and we're only sitting at what looks like... Got 33 plus 11. So, 44. Should be alright. And of course, right as I say that, they got to adjust the number on me. Just to make me look mathematically foolish. Arithmetically stupid. But it's okay. You guys over here, good job. I'm going to be the morale officer right now. I'm going to be like, you, awesome job. This guy, great. You, I think your name's Greg. Good job. You're kind of bleeding though. You may want to get a band-aid. Sir, with the metal hat, doing well. Continue firing. Everyone's living the dream right now. Living the dream. And if they try and retreat from here, I will run them down. This may be segmented out into a multi-part battle. If that is the case, I'll probably break the episode off shortly after this ends. Let's go ahead and put everybody on charge duty. And there it is. The battle is contained. So 24 men in exchange for 311. Well, sort of. 47 men in exchange for 311. Not a bad day by any guess. Not a bad day at all. The enemy has been forced to retreat, but the assault... Oh, really? He's still feeling himself, huh? Well, I suppose I'll break the episode off here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Mount & Blade Warband. I'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, where I think we will more than likely be defending Qdan further, but who knows? Who knows? I'll see you guys there. Take care, everybody, and hi-do.